Hello, welcome everyone to another great episode of The Good Word. Yours truly, Mr. Frederick. All right, guys, we're going to get right into it today. Okay, today we're going to talk about when you fall, just get up. Just get up. Just get up. God is training you. Okay? God is training you. And say that again, family. When you fall, just get up. God is training you. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to start off with first thing you need to know, accept that it's a part of your journey. Okay? It's a part of your journey. A lot of times, the problem with falling, failure, perceived failure, okay, is that individuals view it as it's not supposed to happen to me. No, why me? Okay, get that mindset out of your head, family. No, why not you should be your mindset. What you should look for is what can I find out of this that allows me to grow? How can I grow from this? Get the why me out of your head. Anytime you take the attitude of pity, feeling sorry for yourself, all of those emotional responses actually have negative chemical responses in your body. Literally, it really does. Whereas if you have a response of I'm going to overcome it, after the perceived failure, you get a positive chemical response. So this is true, family. Anyone can look this up. So you have to tell yourself that I am going to overcome this. What can I find from this dilemma, from this situation? Not why me. Okay, get that woe is me out of your head. It's part of your journey. Why not you? All right, guys. So I'm going to move on to number 2 here. You had to learn important lessons that you'll see later. Okay? You had to learn important lessons that you will see later. You see, family, in this life, a lot of times we see things repetitively. Okay? It's not like the only time you're going to see that obstacle. It's the only time you're going to see that confusion, or you're going to see that roadblock. Okay? You're going to see it again. And when you see it the next time, you know what to do because of the strategies that you learned the previous time. Now, if you don't learn, we all know the old saying, okay, hard head makes a soft what? Okay, all of those things really apply for a reason. So you learn from your mistakes and you move forward, but you don't chastise yourself. You be positive with yourself. You need to take on a positive approach and mentality when you do see that again, because you're human and circumstances align that way, and you have to accept that God is lining this up for you this way, okay, for a reason. It's part of your journey. It's part of your story, okay? Okay, family. And third, you can only go as high as you conquer. You can only go as high as you conquer. If you conquer here, that's all you can go. If you conquer here, that's where you can go. A lot of people on the spiritual aspect of it will say, the bigger the devil, higher level, bigger devils. It's the same thing, family. You only go as high as the obstacle you overcome. When you have the most opposition against you and you overcome it, that's how high you can go. That's a great barometer for how high you can go. And that's telling you right there what you're made of, okay? The devil doesn't use all of that energy on someone who's not going to do something for the Lord. Remember that. Someone that's not important in the eyes of God, the devil's not worried about. He's going to let them do what they got to do. They can have at it. He's like, okay, do what you do. I'll see you later on. But when you have a higher calling, understand, that is when you will face the biggest monsters in your life. And you are meant to rely on the Lord, okay? Shall not forsake you. You have to know that. That is paramount to understand. It builds your faith. It makes you stronger. It builds your resilience, okay? It builds your stamina, okay? You must be long-suffering, all right? That's one of the fruits of the Spirit. You have to have that ability, that endurance, okay? That endurance to seek the kingdom. You have to have that mentality. You have to embrace it And you have to not worry about what messages you're getting in your head. You have to keep your eyes on the prize, family. Ultimately, that's what's going to do it for you. Not where you're at, what you're learning from where you're at, and the goal you're trying to get to. Okay? Also, family, you will help others. You will help others as an example of the collective connection. Okay, because we all are connected, family, whether we admit it or not. We're all connected. When you rise, when you ascend, you make it possible for others to do so. Why? Because you're an example. Okay, so you're not the only person that's gone through what you've gone through. If it's illness, you're not the only one that's been sick. If it's unemployment, you're not the only one that's been unemployed. If it's relationship struggles, family history, you name it. Okay, neglect, abuse, abandonment, anything that you faced in your life, someone else has faced it. Okay, they have faced the same things prior to you. I look at when Martin Luther King was looking to attack racism and Jim Crow and all of these laws, segregation in the 50s and 60s. Okay, he studied Gandhi and his approach. Now Gandhi studied someone else. I can't remember the name, but Gandhi studied someone else. This is just how it goes, family. So you leave your mark and someone else will look at you as that lighthouse to go to, okay, when they're trying to find their way. Okay, and that is how you affect others, by your example of just being you and doing what the Lord placed in your heart to do. And that's the strength that you have to overcome these obstacles. Will that be detractors? Will that be haters? Yes, they're going to always be, because you have to understand, family, there's always going to be individuals that are tied to the adversary that he sends, that he can get into, low vibrational. They just haven't ascended yet. They might be at a place forever. They might not. But at that point, they're being used against you, okay? Because he can't do it without them. He has to have individuals to work against you. So understand when you see it so you can defeat it and know that it's not greater than you. Greater is me that is in he than he that's in the world. Remember that, family. It's important. It's a reason why that's a scripture. All right? So also, last but not least, family, your powers need to come out. Your powers need to come out. Quite simply, what is that? We have secret powers. We all do, family. Maybe they come out at different times in our lives. We use it to get jobs, make money. Maybe we use it to romance. Maybe we use it to secure relationships. Whatever you use it for, we all have talents and gifts and powers, okay? Now, it's whether you know what they are and how to use them. That's different. And do you develop them? Do you nurture them? Do you put people around you that nurture your vessel? Okay? Because if you don't, all of those powers, you'll be around a hater or someone or adversary, an agent of the adversary, and they're sitting and seeing your powers, and they tell you, oh, I didn't see that. Or they'll say, oh, that wasn't what that was. That wasn't, no. I know, no, the sky's purple. It's not blue. That's what's going to happen. They're going to gaslight you. That's what narcissistic people, antisocial behavior, whatever, all of these psychopaths, that's what they do, okay? Again, you know who they're being used by. But your power is still going to shine to overcome those very people. And those very people be looking at you at the end like, some of them might say, I knew he or she could do it. Or some of them might say, oh, he or she cheated. Oh, they got it from ChatGPT. They're going to come up with everything in the world. You know, it's just because you got to understand that when someone doesn't see in themselves something and they see that in you, that immediately sparks a reaction, a response of envy, of jealousy, of I got to tear this person down. And you should kind of smile at it. When you get accustomed to it, family, and that's why I say these things happen to some people early on in their life. Family members, friends, associates that they're around. And they remember all those little snark remarks and comments like, what was that for? I didn't say nothing like that when you got a promotion. I didn't say nothing like that when you wrote a book. I didn't say that when you get it. I didn't say that when you got married. It's because you got to understand some people, you actually should take it as a compliment. You know, really, you should look at it like, wow, I must really be doing great. But also resist the devil and he shall flee. Get away from it, family. You can't stay around that poison and grow. That doesn't nurture your vessel. You have to, don't become accustomed to that, because eventually you're going to be too weak. Things are going to happen. Maybe you have a loss in the family or something will happen to you where you need support, and not someone that's trying to tear you down. You need someone to try to uplift you and build you up. Again, the fruits of the Spirit. If they don't have patience, kindness, honesty, things of that nature, you easily know get away from these people. Pray for them, family. But you don't sit around and be a part of their misery, okay? Because remember, misery loves company. So understand, family, nurture your vessel, your talents, your gifts. Be around people that are going to encourage you, to help you develop those things. Not that are going to be jealous of those gifts and see what they aren't in you. Be around individuals that they can inspire them. They see you rise and they say, wow, I can rise now. Wow, thank you for showing me that. I'm going to try to do that. Not try to steal your ideas and then not give you credit and actually say they gave you the idea. Come on. As they say, where they do that at? Okay, family, so remember, you got to understand that when you fall, just get up. It's God's training camp. I don't care what period in your life. If you were young, couldn't do anything about it. If you were young, like 20s, 30s, prime of your life age, middle age, if you're a senior citizen, it does not matter what stage of life. The rules of the game always apply, okay? It's always going to be flags on the field, okay? When someone commits a foul, it's always going to be the whistle's going to get blown. It's either right or it's wrong. And you got to know what's right for you and what's wrong for you. And you got to know that if it's wrong for you, you are going to be strong, too strong for it to destroy you. And it's just going to build you. You're going to get those reps up. You're going to be even more determined. You're going to be even more excellent in how you deliver that play. All right? It wasn't Michael Jordan's athleticism ultimately that made him who he was. It was his skills. It was the fact that he could play defense. It was the fact that he could pass. It was the fact he developed all of these things under Dean Smith, who at North Carolina, his college, he said, hey, no, it's no one-man show here. You have to know how to do a basic pass. You have to know how to move without the ball. You have to play defense. That's where his skills were nurtured. And it's the same thing with you, family. When you're being nurtured, it's not going to feel good all the time, but it's going to be worth it in the end. Okay. And last but not least, family, I want to say this. When you're in a moment and you feel like you're being attacked and you feel like you are being cornered and you want to have an emotional response when these things happen, pause, breathe. Okay. Take a second. Relax. And it's that very moment that you feel like you're being attacked, that you recognize the emotion. You are not your emotions, okay? You are the witnesser. You're witnessing your emotions. You're an observer of your emotions, okay? It's too many people responding emotionally, reacting rather emotionally, instead of responding with logic in our society. And that's causing violence. That's causing so many unnecessary events. If we could have just took a second and pause. Let wiser heads prevail. Okay? And people can go home instead of going somewhere else. All right, guys, I want to say, remember, love what you do and do what you love. Peace. Get busy.